directly to comments and questions that are in the comment section, right? So really cool on the channel. So bear with me. So one of the questions from a shout out to Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown. Hey, Thomas Brown, how are you? Hey, Tom. So Thomas, I'm just gonna ad lib because you were referring to someone else's question. And I was like, okay, so that I had to do some cross-referencing to find out what you were talking about. But you're looking to get into business or real estate investing this coming tax season and was wondering the same as Mr. Brown, another Brown, if you should start an LLC beforehand or after. Okay, well, first things first, here's my disclaimer. I'm not an accountant, Thomas. So I can't advise you on, your business entity structure or anything like that. Like I can tell you what other people have done, but yeah, I can't advise you. I'm going to ask you to seek the assistance of a licensed professional. All right, first things first. So there goes my disclaimer. All right, so an LLC, a limited liability company. So that's one type of entity, just one. There are multiple different types of entities. So the question I ask you, Thomas, is why an LLC, versus a corporation or a limited partnership or any other type of entity? Are you well versed enough in the different types of entities to understand what are the benefits of even creating one? Now, people create entities because they are looking for a way to take in their revenue and have the ability to deduct their expenses, okay? So if you do not have any revenue and you don't got any expenses, what do you need an entity for, That's the thing. So when I did my first deal, I did not have an entity. If you haven't done your first deal yet, I would be an advocate for you to tell you, go make some money, be profitable before you start spending more money, right? So actually learn everything that you can about real estate investing and the different strategies, and then implement them, right? Just take some effective action and close your first deal. Once you close your first deal, then you have funds that you can actually expand and scale. And if you want to continue, then you can actually formalize your process and maybe create an entity after the fact, right? I'm just saying, if you do a deal without having an entity, you're a sole proprietor, which is still an entity type, to be honest with you. It just means that, you need to track your gas and, all your stuff and things like that. You can still be a sole proprietor. That's an entity structure. Don't let anybody else tell you that it ain't, but it is. All right, I hope that helps. But again, seek legal counsel, okay? Okay, cool. All right, so next here, Avil Ganga. Hey, Avil, how you doing? Please help me with the Cook County, Chicago, Illinois. I'm trying so hard, but I don't know where to start. So Cook County is the county, Chicago is a city, Illinois is a state. Now, I know that's obvious, right? But when it comes on to tax liens, tax deeds, the law starts at the state level. And in that state statute, it identifies the actual authority who's responsible for doing what in the county, right? So Cook County, it would probably be their tax collector, because Illinois, the state of Illinois, is a lien state. All right, so I don't know if you knew that or not. So tax liens are sold annually, kind of like between October and December in Illinois. They do have some tax deeds, but those are the tax deeds that go beyond the redemption period, and then those become available for collection purposes, and they convert to a deed, which is a whole nother process. But I would start with the tax collector in Cook County, right? So they're the ones. So first things first, read the law. That's where you really start. Okay, Avil, is reading the law for your state, finding out who is responsible for what roles, and then contacting the appropriate county department in regards to who's the one that is responsible for delinquent real property taxes, and then understanding what is their process for collection. When is the auction held? And also maybe the reason you can't find the information because it's just not due yet. You know, like the auction hasn't happened. Like I said, in Illinois, the auction is the latter part of the year. Does that make sense? All right, so hopefully that points you in like the right direction. All right, so let's see. Nurse RN. Hey, Nurse RN, how you doing? All right, so she wrote for tax deeds in Florida, how would I know if there is a mortgage lien? Now, I get this type of question all the time. People want to ask me, Jackie, how do I know if there are any liens on the property? All that stuff. And I'm like, oh, they haven't taken the course. That's really what it is, right? You haven't taken a course, right? So that's one of the things that I teach in the course. So the answer to that question is the way how you know whatever lien, whether it's a mortgage or homeowners association liens or code enforcement or whatever, easements, all that cool stuff, demolition lien, whatever. All of those types of liens, that information period is going to be in your title search, all right? So you have to do a title search on the properties that you intend to purchase. That's really, really imperative. We never buy properties not knowing what's actually on the title. So then your next question is, well, geez, Jackie, how the hell do I get a title search? All right. So two things you can do. You can do it yourself, right? Because you know what you're doing, right? Looking through land records and going through the clerk of courts or the county courthouse and reading through the documents in regards to associated to that property owner and the property itself, and then identifying if there are any outstanding liens that have not been paid off. Or you can have a title company do it for you, or a real estate attorney, you know, but that kind of gets pretty costly, to be honest with you, Nurse RN. If you, every single time you're interested in a property, you pay somebody to do it, it adds up, you know, whether it's $75, $100, $150. Imagine if you do that like 10 times. So in my course in Tax Deed Genius, I actually teach my students how to do their own title searches so that they could identify all of that information that's needed. All right, so that's an imperative skill that everyone needs to know as a real estate investor. Now, some real estate investors are clear on this process, others are not, but I make sure that my students are absolutely 100% clear on what they're looking at and how to go through public records and read all of those files to make sure that they're counting all of the costs as well as the risks associated with investing in tax deeds. All right, so the next comment here is from Carolyn Morales. Hey, Carolyn, how are you? Now, Carolyn didn't so much have a question. She wrote her experience with tax deeds. And I think this is such an amazing success story that I couldn't even pay Miss Carolyn to talk about this stuff. I don't even know who you are, Miss Carolyn, but I love your story. So I'm going to read it right now for everybody. So want to hear it? Here it goes. We got a $256,000 offer for an over-the-counter, she wrote OTC, meaning over-the-counter lands available deed that we paid, I'm assuming her and her partner, paid $49,000 for 4 years ago. So that is like not that long ago. So 4 years ago, she bought a property off the over-the-counter lands available list, meaning the property went to auction, but it was not purchased. Now, this is a major, major tip, you guys. If you have not written this down yet, please do. Do not ignore the over-the-counter or the lands available list. Most investors think that just because a property went to auction and it wasn't purchased and it went to the county's over-the-counter list or lands available list, that must mean that it's a junk property. Ain't nobody want it, it's no good, it's swampland, it's, you know, whatever they say. But that's not the case. Sometimes properties are not purchased because investors just didn't show up, or the investors that were present at the auction, they maximized their entire budget buying something else, and maybe they wanted to buy that one, but they ran out of money. So there's all kinds of stuff. Maybe someone tried to purchase this property and then they did not come back, like a bidder actually won. And this happens all the time. They won and they didn't come back to pay for their winning, and therefore they forfeited their win, and then it ended up on the lands available list. So there's all kinds of reasons. So there's hidden treasure in that over-the-counter lands available list. And Carolyn found one because she purchased a property for $49,000, and then 4 years later, there was an offer for $256,000. My God, my God, my God. Okay, so here's the deal. It was 2.56 acres with 528 feet of frontage, right? That means on the street and on the state road, and then 330 feet on the side. That's pretty big on the side road. Since we bought it, there is a new highway, 2 new industrial parks are steadily filling up. 2,000 acres is being rezoned to higher housing density, meaning like new subdivisions is coming in. Amazon and Wayfair are close by. Cecil Commerce and Spaceport and Cecil College are all close. New subdivisions are rapidly building, and 1,139 new apartments are building across the street right now. The property had 2 small shanty houses, like a mobile home on it, but we were after the commercial potential with the frontage and the growth that was rapidly coming into the area. So here's a key point, you guys. Growth coming in the area. You want to be in the path of growth. How do you know what areas in your county, USA, is growing? Well, one of the things that you can do is attend your local county like zoning meetings. Those are public meetings, you guys. You can just sit and just listen. Just listen. Even don't even know what they're talking about. You just perk up, you be sleeping. You be like, what? 10 years is gonna be a new mall. Say word, like that. Like you just know what's happening in your county, right? So Carolyn, I don't know if you attended a meeting like that to be able to forecast, where growth was going, project where growth was going, but good for you. So what happened is a storage unit, so self-storage, so a self-storage builder, and self-storage companies are frequent buyers of land because then they build their storage unit. And especially if new subdivisions and apartment complexes are coming up, self-storage companies, they love that stuff because people have more stuff than they can use. God bless America. And they like to pay other people to house their stuff. So she sold it to a self-storage unit, and they offer her $256,000 for her 2.56 acres, right? Wow, that is so dope. So the storage unit builder offered us $256,000 for our 2.56 acres, but he wanted to keep us on contract throughout the entire approval process, potentially 18 months to 2 years. So my partners would not agree to wait and be on the contract that long. So we will begin the rezoning process in August as the title goes clear by the statutes for 4 years. Oh, how cool. Good for you. Girl, get your coins. Get your coins. It is the best over-the-counter deed yet. I kept trying to talk people into it, but most only they didn't see like the potential, right? I think that's what you're trying to say, right? They didn't see it, didn't want to live there, whatever. They can't open their eyes and envision all of the potential. So we bought it with another couple, and I am so glad we did. I have many other stories, and all profitable through land investing and tax deeds. Aw, how dope is that, Carolyn? Thank you so much for sharing your story. I know this video is going kind of long, but I had to share that. That right there is everything. You heard me. So let's talk about it real quick. Let's talk about it. So what just happened? What just happened? There's so many lessons in this. So Miss Carolyn bought this property off the lands available. She didn't even have all of the money. She combined her financial resources with another couple. They purchased it together. They were good with it. They just sat on it and waited for progress to come to them until people kept knocking on their door, right? To offer them money for their land. It's an amazing strategy, you guys. So all of you investors out there that's like, oh, I don't buy land. I only want a single family home. Listen, land is everything. All right. Why? Because they ain't making no more of it. Hello. The property you're sitting in right now watching me is on a piece of land. Somebody wants to put something on it. That's super duper cool. Oh my gosh. So Carlos, I'm speechless. You are amazing. Very, very knowledgeable. Oh, thank you so much, Carlos. Aisha, maybe you are so passionate and informed about tax deeds. I love watching your videos. Thank you very much. Let's see. Charity has a question. Charity says, I don't understand where to find these properties. Can you clarify how to obtain properties information up for sale at an auction? Well, Charity, there's two different auctions happening simultaneously, so I don't know which ones you're referring to. So if it's tax liens, right, then normally tax liens are auctioned by the tax collector, because the tax collector in the county is the one that's collecting the taxes for real estate taxes, vehicle registration, all that stuff, right? So tax collectors, that's what they do. They collect taxes for both tangible as well as intangible properties, and they also collect like business license taxes, that kind of stuff. All right, so if you're looking for liens, it'll be the tax collector. If you're looking for deeds, meaning actual properties, then more than likely it's going to be the clerk of court. They're the ones that may have those auctions. And some clerk of courts, you may find the information directly on your website, obviously, or if you go to the clerk of court's website for that county, they'll have some kind of link where it redirects you to the third party vendor that's managing the auctions on their behalf, on the county's behalf, because some counties just don't have the manpower or the bandwidth to do the auctions themselves, so they outsource it. So that may be one way for you to find all of those properties there. Hopefully that helps you. All right, so Savvy Investor, this is Savvy Investor. Savvy Investor says, the phony tone of your voice is hilarious. To each his own. Womp womp. So sorry that you don't like me, Savvy Investor. Love you anyway. Bye. All right. How can you find the total delinquent tax due? Okay, so this is Aisha again. So Aisha, the total taxes that are due for a property is going to be on the tax collector's website. So you would search by the property's parcel ID. You can search by the property owner's name, or sometimes you can actually just search by the address of the property, and then you will see the tax bill. Now you would see the tax bill for the prior years, sometimes if it's available. If not, that's cool. But you would see if the taxes are current or if they're past due. Hopefully that answers your question. So again, it's the tax collector's website. All right. So Jennifer wrote, so on the purchase county held lien tab, if it states $87, is that how much I can buy it for, or that plus additional fees? So county held liens. All right. It seems to me like you're probably on one of the like Lien Hub, or one of those websites, the third party websites I mentioned earlier, where the county outsources their auctions to. So if you're on one of those websites, those third party, I don't know, because you didn't mention it, so forgive me. So the county held lien. So I'm just assuming that you're on a lien auction site. If it says $87, then more than likely, Jennifer, that's what it is. It's just $87. That's the face value of the certificate. It's $87. If there are any additional fees, they'll tell you if it is. Just, most times the county may have like $5 or whatever it is for the certificate, but it'll be county specific that will tell you what that is. But you definitely purchase over-the-counter liens, lien certificates for the face value of the certificate, which is actually the taxes for that, the previous year's tax year. So it's 1 year at a time, okay? 1 year at a time. Normally, when you're clicking on a over-the-counter tax liens, what you should search for is if the previous years are delinquent as well, right? So you want to see if there were other certificates that were issued on that same property, or if you have the opportunity to actually purchase all of them, okay? So you could purchase like multiple years so that you can have 1, 2, 3, or 4 different tax liens for the same property. That's another strategy as well. All right, hopefully that helps. Woo! Jackie, I am impressed with your program and want to join your circle ASAP. I'm a beginner with lots of hope. This is Servilis. Jeffrey Civilis, maybe. All right. So I have that comment all the time, which is awesome and amazing. Thank you for wanting to join my program. So Tax Deed Genius is a 8-week online training program where I go through everything from A to Z. All right. So that is liens, deeds, as well as surplus, all with the due diligence and where to go, how to find information. I have checklists. I share my screen. I show you everything step by step. It's awesome. For anyone that's interested in learning more about that program and wanting to join, as Jeffrey said, all you got to do is just go to my website, which is www.thejackyjackson.com, and you can click on, join Tax Deeds or enroll in Tax Deed Genius, and then it'll take you to the course enrollment page where you can join at any time. Okay. There are payment plans. There's a 4-pay there, or you can pay through like Amazon, PayPal, all of that cool stuff is there. So it's really amazing and very robust. Right. So I've been on here a while. I could go on and on and on, but then this video would be obnoxiously long. It's probably already way too long. But I just wanted to just acknowledge you guys and let you know that I do read the comments. I read them, my team reads them, and we try to answer as many as our fingers, as many as our fingers can allow us to do. But, like I said, we're full-time real estate investors, and our main bread and butter is actually, buying properties, right? So that's what we do on a daily basis, right? So this educating and empowering is something that I am passionate about for you, because I remember what it felt like when I was starting, and I just kind of felt lost in the sauce, right? Until I got a coach, I got somebody who mentored me. I leveled up and invested in myself and my education, which is something that you also have to decide how to do. Like, how long, are you gonna try to go it on your own when you could maximize somebody else's experience, their knowledge, their wisdom, and decrease that learning curve for yourself, right? So Tax Deed Genius is there and it's available for you. And then you get access to me, and we can, talk. You can join our group and ask all those intimate questions. And I show you in more detail how to get the information that you need to be successful. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Have an amazing, amazing week. All right, talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.